yellow is medical air, okay? Try not to mix them up. We see a lot of people putting maybe this on the oxygen, and that's fine for us that know the difference, but the clinical, like transport is not clinical, they don't know the difference. So they're gonna try to maybe plug this into air instead of oxygen and get it mixed up, okay? All right, so if I go in a room and I see one that's wrong, I throw it away, okay? So, these are in the nurse server, and then I think respiratory runs around with these. So if you need one, just call us, we'll bring one up. Okay, so just know the difference between that. These two, one's green, one's yellow. Okay, now I'm gonna start with a regular nasal cannula. Like we said on the order, a regular nasal cannula will go up to 6 liters. After 6 liters, if you need anything else, then call us and we'll get high flow. I got this all wrapped up. Okay, so if your patient is wearing 3 liters and they're complaining that their nose is dry, their nose starts bleeding, we do have humidifiers that we put on. Has everybody seen one of these? Yeah. It just keeps it moist with all that oxygen going in their nose. They might be complaining. We can put a aqua pack on there, okay? With the regular nasal cannula and this aqua pack, you can only go to 6 liters. If you go anything higher, this thing's gonna start squealing at you, because this is really thin plastic and it might even bust. So you'll see it poof out and start squealing if you try to turn it up too much. Okay. If you need more than that, call us and we'll come up and bring you a high flow cannula. The cannula's got a bigger diameter, and then the water cup is harder, so it's not gonna bust. So these can go up to 15 liters. Everybody pretty familiar with a regular cannula and then the high flow? Yeah. Okay. Another thing I was going to point out is the extensions that we use. These get undone a lot. So for some reason you're working with the patient, all of a sudden their sats are dropping on you. Make sure you are connected, because this happens. That's the first thing we do is run the line. Always run the line to make sure that this is connected. Make sure this isn't stuck underneath the bed or the bedside table and kinked. Okay. All right, and then we have a regular oxygen mask. Can anybody tell me the liter flow that has to start on this?
7.
6. Does anybody know why? Anything under 6, they will sit there and rebreathe their own CO2. So it has to be over 6 so it can keep flushing out the CO2.
What, it can be at 6 or has to be over 6?
6 or more.
6 or more.
Yeah. Anything under 6, then you're gonna make them lethargic. Okay, so make sure it's 6 or more on an oxygen mask. And they go up to 15. And then non-rebreather. Non-rebreather we use a lot for emergencies. Say you have to call an MRT on your patient. Sats are dropping. These are in the Omni. We'll run and get one of these. What it does is the little reservoir bag provides that patient 100% oxygen quickly, so we can get their sats up fast. Okay. So on these, it's just important to know if the bag is inflated, then you have a, so between 10 and 15 liters, as long as your bag's inflated, then we're giving them enough oxygen. Everybody seen one of these?
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just have so we were talking about the simple mask with the 6 liters. On this one, it says, I guess it to place on 4.
I'll have to look at it, because I had to change that other one too, because it said 5.
It says on which one, Madison?
On the back of the protocol.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it says if your patient is on a simple mask and you're going to cannula to start them at 4 liters.
Okay.
That's what that means on this protocol.
Wait.
Yeah. If they're on a simple mask and you're ready to wean them down, say they're on 6 liter simple mask, they're getting tired of wearing the mask. They woke up really good out of surgery, they're tired of the mask. Start them on 4 liter
So
nasal
that's
cannula.
how you transition.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't surprised if it really did say that
Making
though.
sure
Because I
I'm
have to
right.
change a lot of things, yeah. Okay, anybody have any questions about the 2 oxygen masks?
Why would you choose to do the mask at 6 liters instead of like a nasal cannula at 6 liters?
Mouth breathers.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Yeah, a lot of people will sit there with their mouth open. We can't get their sats up because they got the mouth open and we're trying to give it to them through their nose. It's not working. So we will put them on an oxygen mask if they will tolerate that. Yeah. Another thing, these 2 masks cannot be on humidity. So if you try to put these masks with the bubbler, the oxygen or the water pack, it dilutes the oxygen. So they cannot be put to humidity. So that happens a lot of times in, like, say MRTs, because everybody's in a rush, no big deal, and you have your patient on this, but they need more than that, so we'll come in and they'll have the non-rebreather plugged into this. So we take it off automatically and switch it out. In a rush, that's fine, we'll come in and fix it, you know, just because it's hard to get this off in a hurry. All right, then one last thing, trachs. You guys have been getting a lot of trachs up here, like, no, not lately, but.
More than we used to.
Yeah. Trach mask can be ran, 1 to 15, okay? Have you guys seen the one that has like the bigger tubing and it's attached to water? That's just humidity, so we can make sure that their trach doesn't dry out and we get mucus plugs. If they need to go downstairs for anything or travel for anything, this is how we set them up. We have a little nipple adapter. We just put it right on the end of the trach mask with the tubing, and then you can put them on a tank and take them downstairs or walk them. Okay. Respiratory is the only one that has this too.
What
So-
are those called when we need to order those?
Nipple adapter.
Just the nipple adapter?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So if you need one, just call us. I don't know, Teresa, if you wanna order some to just keep up here.
What would be good is if we have a patient coming up and they have that,
They already have it.
just go ahead and bring it.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and say, hey, we have a patient up here, they'll be walking tomorrow, you know, so can we
Yeah,
get that?
I already have that
Bring it up.
set, yeah. Even if they're on that humidity, you can just take them off the humidity and put them on this. They don't have to be on the humidity for their trip downstairs or wherever you're walking them. We just like for them to be on the humidity while they're in the room so that it keeps their trach moist.
So it might be, like up here, it might be an hour and a half, is that too long to keep them off the humidity?
Do we turn that humidity off or do we just leave it alone?
Just leave it alone, yeah, cause it's kinda tricky.
Yeah, and I don't know what it's called, but what is the thing called where it's like a yellow thing attached to that and it shows different percentages?
Yeah.
Can you explain that? That thing's confusing.
Alright, so this thing that you're
Yeah,
talking
that
about is
thing.
called a air entrapment. So, it has an arrow here. Does everybody see the arrow on the white part at the bottom? Everybody see that arrow? Okay. If you set it on, say they only need 35%, they don't need much oxygen. 35%, and then we put it on 8 liters, means that they, let me look at this again. sure I tell you guys right. This, see how this air is coming through here? That's how much air is diluting so that they make sure that they get 35%.
So they're getting 35% of the 8 liters.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's
Then-
why when you put them on the regular tank, they don't need 8 liters. If they're on 8 liters at 35% on there,
Right.
it's like 2 or 3 or something.
Yes.
So what's the difference between using that and just putting them on a lower?
This is just what we hook them up to the pool mist with. It's the only thing that we.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that confused me was like, I think the guy we had was on like 10, the most recent one we had was like on like 8 or 10 or something crazy on there.
Yeah.
And then the oxygen or the respiratory therapist that was in there, I was like, so he doesn't have to be on 8 because it's only 35% and the oxygen coming through the tank is 100%, right?
Yep.
So,
yes.
so I was like,
This
so
is
what?
diluted.
I was like, so what does he need to be on? I don't know. And I
know.
don't know how do we figure
It
that
is-
out?
It is tricky, okay? If you put your patient, it's not gonna be wrong if you put them on 8.
Yeah, I just
It's
didn't want
not gonna be
to blow
wrong.
him out of the water.
That is, right, they're probably gonna need more, or they're gonna probably, that's gonna be plenty.
Yeah.
So if you you put them on the tank at 8 liters and they're sat at 100% that you notice, you can wean them down.
Okay.
I can't tell you exactly. I just know that 35% is probably 4 liters.
Okay.
So you're
That would
literally
be
So
taking,
basically
Like-
half.
Yeah, could be half.
so if it's 10 liters, if they're on 10 liters on the oxygen,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just 35%, you're taking 35% of 10, is what you're doing. That's how you're kind of figuring that.
Yeah, you could do that.
That's the way.
That's
It's
about
very
3.5.
tricky.
Which
with
is
you.
kind of confusing.
It's
yeah.
very tricky with you guys because, of course, we went through schooling and we did all the physics and we did, so we know how this works. We know that 35% is 4 liters because one liter is 24% FiO2. 2 liters is 28% FiO2.
Okay.
3 liters is 32%. 4 liters is 36. That makes sense?
Mhm.
I wasn't gonna go over that with you guys, but, because that gets pretty
Confusing.
confusing. But yeah,
I just
if
asked
you
because I
think
was confused last
it's
time.
not gonna hurt them. It's not gonna hurt them if you're like, oh, they're on 8%, I'm gonna put them on 8 liters. If they're on 8 liters, I'm gonna put them on 8 liters on the tank. That's perfectly fine.
Okay.
If you notice that they are satting 100% and you've been working on them for half an hour with them for half an hour or something, you can wean them down.
I think that
Cause it's hard for me to say exactly what to put it on. It's
Right.
just too confusing.
But you still have to follow the protocol, right?
That's another tricky. When you guys are working with them on activity,
their heart rate's gonna
it's gonna be different.
up and their breathing rate's gonna be up.
Cause they're gonna be breathing harder. So you give them whatever you need, but then once you get them back down to resting, then you need to make sure they're on what you found them at.
Is there, I mean, I know you said it's not gonna hurt them if they're on it for a short period of time.
Yeah.
But like, I think I read in some research that like, you obviously don't wanna over oxygenate, like that's not necessarily a good thing. Like,
That gets tricky too because, you've probably heard of, COPD,
like
knocking out their respiratory drive.
they do like worse if you give them too much oxygen with COPD, I know.
Yeah. The 12 years I've been a therapist, it's never happened to me.
Okay. Alright, that's good to know.
You can only throw out somebody's drive if you have that much oxygen on them, say maybe overnight.
Okay. So like, we wouldn't
The
risk doing
times-
anything for a short period of time. Okay.
So with this, it is tricky. So if a patient's on 5 liters and 28%, look how much air is flowing in there. That's how much we're diluting the oxygen. But then, if they need a lot, then we're gonna shut it. Now they're 98% oxygen. Okay, does that make sense? This is really tricky. That's why we don't let you guys wean them when they're on this. But for you to know what to put them on the tank,
Yeah.
just put whatever the liter flow says on here. 10 liters, and then just keep an eye on them. That's all I can say. I mean, it gets a little tricky. Cause they might not need the 10 liters, but they do on here because of the dilution.
What's that thing called?
This is called an air entrapment, or entrainment. Okay, air entrainment. Yeah, so, I'm sure that they probably make other things now, but this is just what we've used for many years, so this is what we just keep using. It works. It just allows us to give them the humidification that we need to give them. All right, was that clear as mud?
I've got one more question.
It's
about
very
the chick.
confusing.
I'm sorry, I'm asking
No,
lots of
no,
questions.
you're fine. That's what I'm.
Me and Therese actually, when she reached out to you, a lot of it was because of this patient, and me and her had talked a lot about it. But the other thing I always think about is I feel like it's really hard to keep the trach masks in a good spot,
Mhm.
like when you're moving and they're working out, like things like that.
Yeah.
So, do they get pretty good oxygen flow, even if it's not like right on there, or does it really like important to like make sure it stays tight? Or?
That's patient dependent.
Okay.
If their oxygen sat is fine when it's hanging here and they're just kind of getting a blow by, that's fine.
Okay.
Some might need it closer
Pretty
to
tight,
where they're
okay.
for sure getting it.
Yes.
It's definitely patient dependent.
Because I've thought about that before. I'm like, that doesn't look like it's like staying
yeah.
in place really
And you
well.
can walk in and it's hanging way
and
down
I'm
here.
like,
That ain't doing nothing.
but they seem okay. So I'm like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah. It gets really tricky with the trach because also if we have them on that cool mist with this setup, sometimes we have it on air. They don't even need oxygen. Sometimes we have it set to air.
they just need the humidification.
Just need the humidification. So that's where it gets tricky too. And I wasn't gonna get that deep into it.
Sorry.
No,
asking
you're
lots of
fine.
questions.
I'm glad you asked about what to put them on whenever you're walking them though, if they're on these.
Because that was our biggest question last time. Was I was like, I'm really confused now because I always just put it on what it said it was on, and then the respiratory therapist was like, they don't need that much.
Right.
And I was like, okay.
Well, then what am I supposed
so
to put them
what
on?
is it supposed to be on then?
Yeah.
Because I was going on an outing with that patient,
Mhm.
and we were going to be gone from the hospital, and I was trying to figure out how many tanks I needed, and
Yeah.
how long we were going to be going, and that kind of stuff. And it was really confusing because they were on like 8 liters on the wall, but it was at 30% or whatever. So.
Okay, in that case, absolutely call us.
Yeah.
Cause in that case, maybe they're on air and they didn't even need the oxygen.
Okay. Yeah, the lady told me. I asked the respiratory therapist, and she said 2 liters should be okay.
Okay.
So that's what I did, but
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
like I wanted to know.
So we
a
would
little
go
more.
by exactly what FiO2 they're on, not really the liter flow.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets tricky. We know what
Yeah.
liter flow equals the FiO2.
So basically, just call if there's something that
Which-
you're not sure.
I'll tell you what, I will give you, was that on that? It was that thing, I sent
The
you
one
that,
what you gave me, I think it did have that.
it did have that on there.
I'd love to have
It
that.
it's the liter flow equals the FiO2 percentage.
Okay.
If
Yeah,
you
and
could
I'm
just
not trying-
laminate those and
Yep,
maybe
I can
send
do
them
that.
around.
I'm not trying to make it difficult. I
No.
just, and I don't mind to just even call and ask. It just, in that particular situation, that was where a lot of these questions started coming from, was I was just not sure.
Well, in that case, if you're leaving the hospital, definitely call us, cause
Yeah.
then we have to calculate, do you have enough in that tank when you
Yeah.
leave? You know, so,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we're
it's
kind of,
best just to let us know.
we're kind of used to doing it for like quote unquote normal amounts, like a 2 liter patient or whatever,
Yeah.
like just normal.
yeah.
But like in that situation, I was like, so how quickly is he gonna run through this?
Yes, so it's always best to call us and then we can calculate the tank and make sure you have enough on the trip.
Okay. Thank you.
Alright. I think I went through all the modalities that you guys see up here. As far as BiPAP and heated high flow, those are a little bit more you might see BiPAPs up here every
Mhm.
once in a while, but they don't wear them all day, thank God, so you just have to worry about these modalities.
When somebody takes a BiPAP off, are we supposed to turn it off on the machine? Like, are we supposed to,
Are
There's
we
a-
allowed to take it
are
off?
we supposed to be managing that machine at all, or just leave it running,
Cause
or?
I've like gotten onto before saying, oh, you're a therapist, you can't take that off, yet nurse has to do it.
Yeah, you should be able, you can take off the mask.
I've been told to take it off on.
Yes,
I've
you
tried
guys
to
can take off the
standby
mask.
And then put the nasal cannula on after I ask the nurse.
Yes, yeah,
Press-
so you can take the mask off.
And press the
Anybody in
standby
this
button.
hospital can take a mask off. Cause if it's an emergency, we need the mask
Yeah.
off. If they're throwing up, you need the mask off.
Yeah.
You know, so everybody can take the mask off. It's just you can't put them back on.
You can't reset it, okay.
So you can take it off and then on, I don't know on the screen if you know, there is a standby button.
Standby button.
You can hit that standby button and let it just sit until they're ready to.
And then just let the nurse know when you're done,
Mhm.
and they can.
Yeah, so anybody can take it off, CNA, therapist, anybody that's in there.
Yeah, I had a
'Cause sometimes-
respiratory therapist get upset with me one time for, she's like, oh, you can't take that off. I was like,
Well, it might have been.
well, he's on rehab and I need to do therapy with him, so. Like,
But that, I'm saying, you know, we can't be everywhere at once, so
Yeah,
if you need to take them off, yes, you can. Maybe in that case, we were waiting to see how long they could wear it. I don't know what the situation was, I don't know, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure, anytime you have any questions, call us and we would love to train and cross-train and make sure everybody's on the same page. Yes?
I have a question. So if I have a patient, let's say their protocol is to be at or above 90, we're doing a shower, whatever, and let's say they're like at 87 or even like 88, how long do I give them to try to recover before I start
That's a
bumping them
good
up?
question.
Again, that's patient dependent. A lot of people will recover quickly, some people don't. So, you know,
Would be like a max.
I can't even, we don't even have a max. I mean, we
Like if
don't,
they're holding steady at 87, not dropping anymore, but kind of holding steady at 87, like give them a minute or two.
yes.
guess would you
Just a
just
minute or
look
two.
at how they're breathing? and
Yes.
stuff?
And symptoms.
Yes,
yeah.
that's
Like,
what
are they
we are
turning-
always told is to look at your patient. If they're in
That's what I've always
distress,
done, but
turn
I was
it
like,
up.
maybe I need to be
Yeah.
following
if
them.
they're doing fine, maybe give them a minute. Maybe see if they come up on their
A
own.
nice
Yeah.
flow chart for that too.
Hold on.
Hey, I don't need any more flowcharts, that's enough.
This flow chart.
I know, so there's not any reason, or we can't do a flow chart on that, cause every patient is different. But yes, we were always told, make sure you check your patient, look
So
at your
this
patient.
little box here
Mhm.
didn't necessarily mean you need to wait a minute before you bump them up. That just means once you bump them up,
Then wait a minute,
Okay.
yeah, see if
Okay.
they recover.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions? Hopefully this was helpful.